Hi, welcome to the Get Ready with God podcast. My name is Julie Taylor and I am your host, and I am not God. Obviously, I'm not an expert. I'm not even a scriptorian. I'm literally just a girl sitting in front of a microphone, hoping God is real. The Get Ready with God podcast is the daily devotional podcast to help you see divinity in every day. I went to a concert last night and it was really fun, and I love going to concerts. I had actually, fun fact, I was a dental technician in high school. Like, I made crowns and bridges for people. And it was a very high paying job for a teenager to have at the time. And I made a lot of money. I made more money than most people do in high school. And yet, did I have a penny of it when it was time to go to college? No. You know where it all went? Concert tickets. I love to go to concerts. That will never change. I hope I manage my money a little bit better now, but I don't know. The jury's still out. Anyways, I went to a concert last night and it was really fun. And Ryan and I went, and it was Hozier. And Hozier is an artist that is on my grief playlist quite a bit. And these artists that I have put on my grief playlist are like extra special to me and extra meaningful. And so on the way home from the concert, I put on my Simon playlist, which I started the day after he died. And just anytime a song like really spoke to me or that experience or grief, I put it on there. And it's a spectrum. There are hymns on that playlist. There's Eminem, obviously. It's a spectrum, but I say this all the time, but I'm always so grateful for people being brave enough to create, because creating is vulnerable and it's hard. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of courage and perseverance. And it's only through them being willing to do that that we are also blessed through their offerings. And other people's creative offerings are really how I've survived the last year and a half of my life. And it gives me this whole new respect for artists and art, whether that be paintings, music, words, writing, dance, the earth, whatever art is to you. But I was waxing philosophical on that, and a song came on from that playlist that we're going to talk about today. But before I jump into that, then my good friend and actually the editor of my book posted this quote on Instagram last week that's so well articulated. It says, "The secret hope on picking up a book is that it will tell us what we already feel but haven't had time to think." And I love that so much, because in all of this, I was like, what are the art that has helped me the most, or the songs that help me the most? Not just through grief, but in life, the ones that like hit you so deeply, the paintings where you just like, oh, like it hits you to your soul, the songs where you hear the words and you're just like, what in the world? And I was able to articulate finally that I think the most powerful ones for me are not the ones that teach me something new, but the ones that give language or representation to something that I'm already experiencing but haven't been able to articulate, or I haven't been able to understand. Art that helps me understand myself and the experience that I'm having helps me, I think, more than the ones that introduce new concepts and new ideas. And those ones are fun and exciting. But I think especially in times of pain or just hard times when we're battling something, anything, feeling understood by others and also being able to understand ourselves is so, so, so powerful. And then on the way home from the concert, I was just listening to all these songs that I've put on this playlist. And I just thought about how every single one of them, the reason it's so powerful to me is because it's giving language to an experience or a feeling that I've had that I feel alone in or feel very misunderstood in, either by myself or others. And that's really, really powerful. And that's a really cool thing that art does. Someone else is creating from their experience, but in that we see ourselves and we see our own pain, or we see our own gifts. We see it in them. And I think it's so beautiful that the human race is connected this way. So I was thinking a lot about that. Anyway, that's the preamble for one of the songs that came on last night was Million Reasons by Lady Gaga. And I have loved that song, specifically in a faith context, for years. I think she's singing about a relationship, but that song speaks to my faith experience a lot of, you're giving me a million reasons to let you go. I just need one good one to stay. And one of my favorite lines, she says, every heartbreak makes it hard to keep the faith. And my experience losing faith and leaving faith and still battling to find it and to hold on to what I can is heartbreak. It's crushing to lose faith. It's really devastating, I think. It's a heartbreaking process. And so that's why I get pretty defensive of people who accuse people of leaving religion or leaving faith for really flippant reasons. I know some of it is that. But more often than not, people, in my experience, myself and who I have talked to, It's a long, hard, painful battle. And it's not something most people take lightly. And often it's not even something that they want. Every heartbreak makes it hard to keep the faith. And I've experienced that in faith where my own religion disappoints me. My own God has disappointed me. And with that heartbreak, it just makes it hard to keep the faith. But then the song is, you're giving me a million reasons to walk away. I just need one good one to stay. And honestly, that is, even now, sort of my relationship with faith. There's still so much dissonance for me. There's so much I don't understand. There's so much I don't agree with. There's so much that doesn't make sense. There's so much I don't like. And yet I'm choosing it. And I know that that is where the critics come in and say, I'm just gaslighting myself. And if I was actually brave enough, I would leave. But I've done that. So it's not like I haven't tried that. It didn't work out for me there either. But through it all, through leaving religion and leaving God and all of that, there was always a few of these pillar things, which we talked about last week. These things that we kind of fixate on. But for me, it was like a few things that were undeniable. And I tried to deny them. I am a believer that you can see an angel one day and deny it the next. That happens in scripture. I think it happens in real life every day, where when we lose that desperation or we get a little bit of distance from the miracle, or we don't need it as much, we can move from miracle to denial very, very quickly. But there was always enough of a doubt in my mind when I left everything. There were certain things that I couldn't explain. So the place that I landed is that there's dissonance either way. There's dissonance either way. There's a little bit of a lack of certainty either way. And so I've chosen to live in this lack of certainty rather than the other lack of certainty. I just wondered if you maybe have those things of the just one good one to stay. There's a million reasons. There's so much stuff that doesn't make sense. There's so much stuff that causes harm. But is there one? Is there one thing that leaves a door open in your mind? My invitation is to leave the door open. I'm not saying let that one thing cancel out everything else. I don't think we need to ignore or dismiss anything that we think or believe or have experienced. But if there's just one thing, if there's just one, when you start to walk down the path of leaving it all behind, and I don't even mean religion specifically, I'm talking faith in general. When you just decide God is not real or God does not know me or anything like that, when you start down that road, if there's anything just in the back of your mind that's keeping you saying, but what about that? If there's even one little thing, I want you to notice it and voice it, because if you say it to someone else, it's not just, it's harder to deny. It's harder to deny once you've told people things. Maybe that's what this whole podcast is for, honestly. I think that's one reason I'm so scared about my book coming out, is because I don't want to be held accountable for those experiences and those things that I'm sharing. Right now, there's a lot of stuff in that book that I have never shared ever. And as soon as I say it out loud, it's real. It's not just something in my head. And by the way, I get to change my mind. I'm a flight risk at all times. That's what I like to say in faith. But if there is just something, say it out loud, acknowledge it, share it, not on a podcast, just with a friend. At least write it down in your phone or journal and let the door stay open. Give yourself permission to stay in the gray, but keep the door open. Let yourself say, I don't know. I don't know about that one though. You've got a million reasons, but do you have the one that's enough to keep a door open in your mind, in your heart, in your soul for God, for faith, for believing? That's it. That's it. That's all I ask. That's all I ask of you. I will always sing Phantom of the Opera. I got through this whole episode without singing Lady Gaga, and we're quoting that song. But if I think of Phantom of the Opera, I will sing it. Anyways, maybe just leave the door open. That's all I ask of you. Love you. Bye.